Hey guys, Henning and Morten from FlippedNormals here. And in this video we are going to take you through how to make usable topology for a production environment using Marvelous Designer and Maya. And a little bit of ZBrush as well. This is, like Henning and I just talked about this before recording, this is something that I didn't know that I needed before I started doing Marvelous for production. Because when you're just sitting at home doing hobby projects, it's like, why do you need good topology? It's just, you can decimate your shirt or apply some displacement, do the quadded version out of Marvelous or whatever, and you have usable, in quotation marks, fine topology. But once you start in a production, whether it's for games or it's VFX, commercials, whatever it is, all of a sudden you're working between different departments. Different departments have different requirements. So then you start to realize, okay, it might be good to have some actual good topology.
Yeah, so this here is useful, like Morgan was saying here, like for whatever it is you're doing. If you are for film or games or commercials, like this is very agnostic for that. This is essentially just how to get good topology while working with Marvelous Designer, which is useful for every single artist who's using Marvelous Designer. So right here we have two shirts. So these are the two options you have when exporting from Marvelous. The standard one, which is just a try one, and I don't know, in Marvelous 4 or 5 they introduced I think it was 4, they introduced the quadded version. So good.
Which it was nice that they had quadded versions, but obviously you're working on a simmed mesh, so it's gonna try and do whatever it can to stay quadded. So we recently did a video about triangles and quads. And, you know, you don't always have to stay quadded. It's like, this is what happens when you only stay quadded. And this is not an example of nicely quadded topology. I will say, though, this is going to sim super nicely because, you know, you have even spacing between all your quads. But when you're simming anyway, you hand it off to your CFX artist or whatever, this is the optimal mesh for them. A triangle mesh like this, where there's perfect spacing between all of them, that's what they really need for simming. But for other stages in production, like modeling, you want to do some additional sculpting, maybe even for rigging.
Low-res animation models.
Yeah, exactly.
Give the one to the right to an animator and they go, no.
Yeah. So let's just jump into Marvelous real quick. And here we have a shirt. And so for this example, I'm going to assume that you have access to your Marvelous files. But I'm going to show you a little ZBrush hack later if you don't. So this is just a shirt. So normally what I do is you would just select your mesh and you would export the shirt. Now that's how we get this shirt here. But we can't really make topology off of that. So what we want to do is, you know, select your shirt and then you can say 3D, reset 3D or 2D arrangement, depending on where you want your stuff to be. So you see the 3D arrangement is not going to work for this example because it wasn't laid out properly in the beginning. So we can do 2D arrangement, which is based off of our flat 2D view. So we just select that, export OBJ selected, and then name it something, shirt MD quad. And here, just as a real important thing when you're exporting, is you want to do it as a single object, thin, and set it to unwelded. It shouldn't weld anything anyway because we're in a flat view, but just as a good practice, just set it thin, unwelded, single object, and then hit OK. So I've already done that, so I'm going to do it, and we'll jump back into Maya. So let's get rid of the quad version. Oh no, I've already cheated.
It's almost like we prepped for these videos a little.
So here we have two versions. One is from ZBrush and one is from Marvelous Designer. Like, they look identical. There's not topology-wise, there's no difference between them. But this is essentially what we need in order to get started. So the flat view is kind of like, it's just the UV representation, but in real 3D space. So you can see, because we're doing it in Marvelous, we already have the UVs, and that's super important. And you want to make sure that you always have a UV set that you can go back to. So if this is your standard Marvelous UV set, maybe you want to create an additional UV set that you where you lay it out. So that's your texturing UVs or whatever. But whatever you do not mess up the Marvelous UVs. You always want to keep these because that's going to allow you to transfer your mesh back and forth when you do any changes.
Yeah, when it comes to UVs, a lot of people consider UVs purely for texturing, but it turns out UVs are used for a lot more than that. Like UVs are used all the time in rigging, just for transferring attributes and making stuff just snap to a mesh. Like I've been working as a texturer for a long time, so these UVs here wouldn't fly. Like I wouldn't use them for texturing. No. There's no optimized space or anything like that, and it's also in a single UDIM. Like I would probably want to have this over a few UDIMs here.
Yeah.
So I would definitely re-UV map this, put this in a separate texture set. So you can totally have that. You can have one utility set, which is what we call them, and one which is actually used for texturing.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Groom would use it as well to
Yes.
like place for their Groom and stuff.
Maybe like effects artists would also
exactly.
use that.
So whatever you do, just make sure you preserve that
Yes.
set, because this is the important part. So let's pretend we did a little magic, and I retopologized. Retopology.
Yeah.
So I just want a quick note about retopology. ZBrush with ZRemesher actually does a pretty decent job at doing this kind of retopology. Like if you have this kind of mesh, it's not going to work for every case. And for this particular shirt, I wanted to focus on these seam inlays here and here. So I had to do that by hand. I had to lay in these flat and this one curved because this t-shirt curves down here. So I had to do this by hand. And I would probably recommend that you do it by hand just because you have a lot more freedom. And it's also a lot easier to match these up. So like, let's say the front and the back. The front and the back have to have the exact same amount of edges in order to match up. So like if you did it with ZRemesher, you might end up, because the length of these two are actually different, because I wanted like some specific wrinkles in there, you might end up with a different number of spans. You can totally do it with ZRemesher, but I think it's faster to do it by hand.
Yeah, also when it comes to this is the whole ZRemeshing versus modeling by hand debate. By doing this by hand, how long does this take to model by hand? Like half an hour maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not a lot of time for that. You probably spend more time looking at your phone in a day as well than that. So the reason I prefer this is, it's half an hour, but it's controlled half an hour. You know that it's after half an hour you are done.
Yeah.
With ZRemeshing, it's done in 1 second. But then you have the mystery variable. You have like the black box where stuff goes a bit crazy, where like right now Morten can take this through and he can retopology in half an hour and it's just done. Well, in ZRemeshing, you don't know how much time it's going to take. It's just unreliable, and it's just a good tool, but it's just a whole thing that I know exactly how much time it takes because I control everything when doing it by hand. Yeah,
and exactly what Henning says. It's controllable.
Yeah.
So the way I would usually do it, I'm not going to show it now, but I'd make a live mesh, and then I'd go in with quad draw, and I'd do really simple, really big shapes, like kind of like this. So it's just super simple shapes, and then I do one pass of that, and then I would go in and refine it like this. Add more loops.
We have actually a bunch of videos on how to do retopology, which you can check out. I think we have like 4 videos on this, so we cover everything you need to know there. Yeah,
so this is just the beginning. It's important that you don't get bogged down with adding too much topology, because that just makes it really hard to adjust. Also, if you have a low-res version, usually what I'll go ahead and do is I'll subdivide it after I've retopologized it, and that'll be my base mesh. I have one right here called Shirt Sub D that I can show you later, but that's a treat for later. Okay, so let's say that now we've retopologized and everything's great. So, how do we transfer between these meshes, you might ask? So here we have some very nice UVs on my retopologized mesh, which obviously is not going to fly. So what we want to do is we just want to select our MD flat mesh and our retopo mesh. Go to mesh, transfer attributes, and I'm just gonna reset these settings.
So the transfer attributes editor is one of the most useful ones ever. So like it's under mesh and then transfer attributes. This is something I didn't know for a long time. This is your best friend if you are in any form of production. It allows you to essentially save your ass in so many cases here.
Yeah.
Like in this case here, it's like you want to you have the same shape, but you want to transfer the UVs over for it.
Yeah.
You can just do that. You can also have 2 different models. They are different in every single way, even topology wise, but the UVs are the same. Like
Yeah.
one is decimated and one isn't. If the UVs are the same, you can now transfer back the shape using this tool here. It's the most useful and underrated thing in Maya by far, I think.
So with this tutorial, we're choosing to just focus on Marvelous Designer. Actually, it's a good idea for a future tutorial. We'll do a future tutorial about using the transfer attribute stuff.
Adding to our list.
So right now, specific for this, but the same principles, like the exact same options apply for other meshes. If it's a human that you want to look like a rock, if they share UVs, then you can make that happen.
Yes.
So just reset our settings here, just as a start. And the first line here, attributes to transfer. We want to transfer our UV sets. We don't want to transfer color sets because that's irrelevant. And we do it in world space. So you can do other spaces as well. Like if you have shared topology, you can transfer by topology, for example. It can take a little longer. But these are just the settings that we want to use for now.
It just means that by world, it just means they're physically in the same place. In the scene.
Exactly. Which ours are. Yeah. So here, now you can see, now we have perfect UVs they share the exact same UV boundaries. So you see, okay, these go outside of here.
Yeah.
But what we care about isn't the edges; it's where the verts or like the UV point is placed.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
So now we just got super nice UVs right away.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to do anything. Okay, so now we're just gonna transfer the nicely UV'd mesh to our shirt. So it's the same process, just with a few different settings. So let's just reset it again. Now this time we want to transfer vertex position, and we want to do it based on our UVs. So again, we select the shirt. This is what we want to transfer to. And what is it that we want to transfer? That's our retopologized mesh. We just hit apply, and there we go. Just hide that.
Such a powerful tool, the transfer attribute tool.
Yeah. So there you go. So now that's been transferred. Now it was a flat mesh, and now it's not a flat mesh.
Ta-da!
So just as a little note here, what you're going to end up, running into an issue, which is edge alignment here. And obviously these aren't object now because they can't be. You will probably have to go in and do some small adjustments. That's what I've done for this object here. So you can see here in the back, we don't see the back, so the alignment is not as good.
Yeah.
This might not be an issue for you. You can just go in and then start merging these edges. Also, why I would really advise you to not go overboard with the topology, because the more topology you have in here, or the more edges you have, the more times you're gonna have to merge these edges. So it's no bueno. So what we want to do then is, just go ahead, detail your thing, and then probably subdivide it, and then you'll end up with a mesh that's something like this. So you can have really easy topology, and then you can go back and forth if you need to do any changes, and okay, I can always just transfer it to the mesh there. But what if you don't have access to Marvelous Designer and you just have a t-shirt with perfect UVs? ZBrush, if you happen to have access to ZBrush, which I think a lot of our viewers do, you can also do it in there. It's a little finicky because ZBrush has a tendency to destroy your mesh.
It does that from time to time.
So what you want to do is import your t-shirt in ZBrush, come down and find UV map and hit morph UVs. So this does exactly the same thing as Marvelous does, where it just takes a 3D object and then just puts the UVs into the 3D space. You want to go ahead and export this mesh out. So let's pretend that we just did that. And then you'll end up with a similar looking mesh, which is here. Now the problem is when you export it from ZBrush, you might run into this issue where it breaks your UV boundaries. So you can see if I turn this on and off, our UVs aren't actually welded. Now you think, oh, that's probably not going to be an issue because, it'll just transfer on top, but this is actually an issue. What it'll do once you start transferring attributes, it'll just look at the closest borders, and then you end up with a bunch of small triangles as your UVs instead. So, it's a really quick fix. Just select all of these, then you go up and you hit merge. Just merge it. Might take a while depending on the complexity of your t-shirt or your mesh or whatever. But then you have closed sort of inner boundaries, but your outer boundary will stay the same. And then it's just the same technique. Yeah. You just transfer your UVs from your mesh, and then you can wrap it to anything you really want that has that shape to it.
Cool.
Yeah. So
very useful tip here.
here's a t-shirt that I rendered out a couple of days ago, just using this exact same technique. This was for a little project we were doing. And, you know, I really wanted some good topology because I needed a displacement map to be on top. And I didn't want to have to bother with the zero mesh version or terrible quadded MD version. My own nice topology that I know works, that I can always go back and forth and tweak. And then you can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that about covers everything you need to know about transferring or making good usable topology.
Yes.
So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Cool. Thanks, guys.